Hanneke, welcome. What genuine progress is being made by companies when it comes to women in leadership roles? We hear a lot of good things, but is genuine progress being made?
So I think there's been a lot of genuine progress in the boardroom. The 30% Club started out shining a light on the lack of diversity by gender in the boardroom with a particular focus on the lack of women in non-executive roles, right? When we launched in 2010, women held just over 12% of these non-executive roles, and we set a target to get to 30% over a period of time, and we reached that 30% target in the UK in 2019, and as a matter of fact, we got to 40% by the end of last year in 2022. So that is fantastic. In the meantime, we also launched a number of chapters around the world. There are now 20 of them, and an additional 4, in addition to the UK, the US, Ireland, Canada, and Australia, have hit that 30% mark. And that's been fantastic progress. Where we've not seen enough progress yet is more geographically, and secondly, actually in the C-suite. There are not that many female CEOs. There are 10 in the S&P 100, and there are 9 in the FTSE 100. There are not that many female CFOs or chairs of companies either, and that, I think, is the next step we need to take to get more diversification in the C-suite. But for now, we should actually really celebrate the progress we have made to date.
Indeed. But what challenges then still face women in the workplace, particularly in getting up to those leadership roles?
So I think there's still challenges in the workplace around 2 time periods in a woman's career. It's often in their 30s when they might focus on starting a family. And then there's a second part in when they're in their late 40s, early 50s, which we sometimes refer to as the queenager issue, where women don't really make that final push, stay in the workplace to take on a C-suite role or a board role. So from a maternity perspective, organizations have made very good progress to support women in that journey. I think parental leave rather than maternity leave has been a real game changer for companies, because as women are seeing that fathers are also taking parental leave, for them it removes a little bit the stigma or the guilt that they might feel to take some time out of work because they're having children. But at the other side of the spectrum, we're also seeing women in their late 40s juggling with different priorities. It can be having difficult teenagers at home. It can be having to support aging parents or other priorities. And sometimes they run out of steam and then stop focusing on that next opportunity. And that's, I think, where we need to give them a lot more support, to mentor them and indeed sponsor them.
So with that in mind, what do you propose are the solutions?
So I think there are a number of solutions. First of all, at a company level, you need to set targets. That is very much what we believe at the 30% Club. It's about targets, not quotas. This is quite frankly what everybody does in their business all the time. You set targets for your revenues and expenses, and so you should also be setting targets from a diversity perspective. In our own organization, we set targets. I have targets that are part of my review every year, and they relate to both gender as well as ethnicity in the workplace, and are tied to the appraisal in itself. And then secondly, it's about a bunch of programs that organizations have to support women at different times in their career journey, and that can include not just sort of the things such as maternity leave cover, return to work programs, but it's also really thirdly about mentorship and sponsorship. So as a 30% Club, we work with an organization called Moving Ahead, which now has seen about 16,000 women around the world participate in a cross-company mentoring program. It's been hugely successful, really benefited women in their career. But the other benefit has been what we call reverse mentoring. So we've seen a lot of the mentors, which often have been men because they still hold most of the leadership roles in companies, take some learnings from their conversations with their mentees into their own organizations. And that has often led to a realization that they need to sponsor women and advocate them and show them the path to new opportunities from a promotion perspective.
Hanneke, thank you so much.